Hi, Pisces. Hope you guys are doing really, really well. My name is Brian. I am your queer psychic bestie, and I have a reading for you guys today. This is going to be a monthly forecast for the sign of Pisces for the month of September. I cannot believe it is September already, Pisces. That's crazy. So, if you have Pisces in your chart, maybe you vibe with Pisces, you could be a cross watcher, whatever the case may be, this reading may be for you. It may resonate with you. As always, this is the internet, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do that through email or form submission on my website. Pisces, we are going to be doing a Celtic cross for you this month. So that just gives me the widest sort of overview of the month for you, what's coming in for you, where are we going, things of the sort, okay? You may find that right off the bat, you may find that there are disruptions this month because I just recorded your entire monthly before this and it recorded with no sound. So I have double, triple checked my microphone. It is here, it is on, it is working, okay? But you may find that this month has some setbacks, maybe some things that you aren't really expecting. Nothing really terrible. Like, it's not the end of the world that I'm filming the videos twice, you know what I mean? But it's definitely like puts me behind my schedule, right? So you may find that that might be a theme for you this month. That maybe there are some things putting you behind your schedule, or some things that just come up and derail you a little bit. But let's get all your cards for me back out for you out the first time and we'll get into it. I'm gonna drink some water. And then let's begin. Bottom of the deck is your challenge, Pisces. Represents what you're not seeing, what you're not looking at. We've got the Emperor, we've got the Two of Wands, and we've got the Six of Swords. So what I think is really interesting about your challenge is that it is about standing in your truth. You know, it is about navigating. With the Emperor, it's the divine masculine, the Two of Wands, and the Six of Swords. Feels like you're navigating some departures here. You know, you're moving through some tough feelings, some tough emotions. And with that Emperor, some of you could be branching out to entrepreneurial work here. You don't have to be, but it just generally feels like you're stepping into more of like a I'm taking control of my life sort of energy here. And I feel like with that Six of Swords, it's involving some tough choices is how my guides are giving this to me, you know. And I think that remaining true to yourself, you know, in the first reading I did that you will never see because it had no sound, I kept the phrase sticking to your true north kept coming through, and I'm feeling that again. You know, it's definitely following your inner compass, staying true to that north needle, where it wants you to go, and how it wants you to get there, right? So let's dive in. You start with the sun right off the bat. I do love this, Pisces. The sun is the happiest card in the deck. So it does feel like September is going to be a particularly happy, joyful month for you. You know, I think the way my guides are giving this to me is like, this is a controversial but brave thing for me to say. Happiness is a decision. You have to choose to actively be happy here, Pisces. And it feels like a lot of you guys are going to be choosing things that are better for yourself, more enriching for yourself, more engaging for yourself this month. And it kind of feels like a stark shift to August. I think some of you had Augusts that felt particularly, the way my guides are giving this to me is like doting, like you were doting on other people or other things that were not necessarily that you didn't want to do, but they definitely weren't your first option. Okay. And so now it feels like coming into September, possibly even into October, I'm hearing, it is sort of about, okay, taking control of my life, coming back into myself, making choices that are good for me, healthy for me, that make me happy, that enrich my life, okay? Because your crossing card in the Celtic cross, the cross is either it's a help or a hindrance. Seven of Pentacles, I feel like this is a help for you guys, okay? You know, I think you guys have really worked on, Pisces, building up your reserves and giving back to yourself and working on your resources. You know, Seven of Pentacles is not equal give and take, excuse me, I said that wrong. Effort versus yield. You know, are you amassing resources? Are you creating a cushion for yourself? You know, Seven of Pentacles is, what am I putting in versus what am I getting out? And it feels like a lot of you guys have worked really hard to have some sort of, I almost want to say soft place to land here. Eight of Swords. Odd. Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. Okay, this came through in the last reading too. Mom issue. Keep in mind when we talk about the mother, we do not have to talk about the person that birthed you. The maternal figure, the maternal energy, the mom wound, gender and energy have no place, right? So this is just your issues around divine femininity, your issues with self-worth, you know, things like that coming out to play. But it feels like with this Eight of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles, I am having deja vu because I literally just said this to you. You're kind of navigating, how do I say it? What someone else wants you to do. It feels like, Pisces, that very strongly you may be going against the grain. You may find that you were the black sheep of the family, because it feels like you may have parents, keep in mind, like I said, it doesn't have to be mom specifically, that don't really agree with what you're doing or where you're going or the life that you're living. And it feels like with that Ace of Pentacles, there's almost like this message here of like, okay, if you're not living in my shoes, if you're not living my life, you don't really get to speak on it, right? It feels like some of you guys are letting go of this, I almost want to say like temptation to live the way someone else wants you to, okay? Because it feels like some of you guys have also recognized now that when you don't live aligned to your higher self, your authentic self, you are self-sacrificing. You know, you're sort of self-abandoning here. If, let's say, for instance, you know, throwback, I have hair, you know, it's 2016 again, and I decide I want to bleach my hair and turn it neon pink. If that's what aligns with me in my authentic expression of who I am, and someone else tells me, hey, you're not allowed to do that, you can't do that, and I listen, it has physical consequences, okay? Not living authentically and embracing our authentic expression, it makes our mental health suffer, our physical health suffer, our social health suffer, our health overall suffers because we're putting ourselves last. Pisces, it feels like you've finally joined in on a conversation that someone's been having with you about you that you weren't listening to, is almost how I want to put this. You know, it's like you rejoined the convo and now you're like, oh, actually, I am going to dye my hair pink. I am going to go do that thing. And I feel like this is sort of why September is feeling so good. You know, it's you're doing things for you. You're doing things that are enriching you. Okay. In your headspace, you do have the Three of Pentacles. I think some of you guys are also a little concerned about your community this month. You may find that, as always, with any choice, any decision we make in our lives, some people don't agree. You know, it is what it is. And I feel like some of you guys are recognizing, okay, maybe these people don't agree with me, but it's not going to stop me. You know, and if they don't agree with me, as long as you're not out there hurting people, if they don't agree with me, do I really need them around? You have the Devil here. Interesting. Devil, death and the sun. Wow, huge energies, Pisces, for September for sure. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys here are really putting an end to what other people want to see from you, like where other people want to see your life go. I think you guys are also recognizing that it has no bearing on where you want to see your own life go. You know, it's like growing up. I'll give you an example. Growing up, I was always told, "Oh my God, you're going to be what do you call those? A football player." Look at my room. Does this look like the room of a football player? Be so for real right now. You know, and so it feels like a lot of you guys are now reconciling within yourself here of like, okay, you may want to see this from me, but do I? And I think you're finding here with death, you don't. You know, September is showcasing to you that your authentic expression and where you want to go with your life doesn't necessarily align with the people around you, but that also is showing you that they're not meant to be there in the first place. I always say this to my collectives and my clients, if I have to water myself down to sit at the table, I'm at the wrong fucking table. Okay? You're sitting around with people that don't even want to be at the table. Why are you listening to them? What's that doing for you? What's it gaining? What are you gaining from it? Nothing. Okay? In your physical world, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So some of you could be moving. Wheel of Fortune can talk about like divine intervention, can also talk about relocation. Wheel of Fortune, the world would be a really big moving combo, but we'll see what comes out on here. But with the Wheel of Fortune, that's sort of like your guide stepping in, your spirit team stepping in to help you here, sort of show you the way. I'm not going to take that one, but you know, Wheel of Fortune's a really good sign. It means newness is around the corner. Try again. One at a time, please. My guides know. They know better than this. Don't be throwing 6 cards at me at once. Temperance, 3 of Wands, 4 of Swords. Yeah. It feels like you guys are making some sort of move here that you've been sitting on for a while. 4 of Swords is rest, relax, recuperation. 3 of Wands is waiting, and Temperance is waiting as well. This is a lot of waiting energy. It feels like some of you guys have wishes coming in this month is almost what I want to say. You may find that your guides are sort of dropping things in your lap that you've been asking for a while, and you may not really know how to deal with it right away. You're like, oh, wait, I asked for this, but I didn't expect it to happen. You know, and I feel like some of you guys are, how do I say this? You freak out a little bit when you're happy. Because I'm hearing like you're navigating just the pure pleasure of being happy. Okay, and it feels like some of you guys, I talked about this in the last reading that didn't post. I keep saying that like you guys know what I said in the last one. But in the last reading, I talked a lot about some of you have a baseline of sadness. Okay, there's just this like baseline for you that when you're happy that you just go back to and default to of sadness, desolation, distraughtness. That's not a word, I made it up. But it feels like now you guys are dismantling that, right? You're sort of coming at it and looking at it and being like, okay, if the best thing that I can do for myself is be happy genuinely, I have to learn how to be happy. I have to be able to navigate it. I have to be able to take a bite out of the fruit and not be scared. Okay? That's what I think a lot of you guys are tackling in the physical world this month. You know, you're really just, the way my guys are saying this is so funny. They're like, you're scared shitless and you're leaning into it. You're scared out of your mind, but you're leaning into it, which is really positive. Okay. In the past, you have the moon here. So I think a lot of you guys, moon is Pisces energy. Love that. So you're showing up as your own energy here in the past. The moon talks about fear, illusion, not seeing too clearly. So it does sort of feel like a lot of you guys are coming from, like I said, August was maybe not great for you guys. It feels like you're coming from a lot of distortion. Yeah, Five of Pentacles. Feels like you're coming from a lot of... This is like the... I'm hearing like daybreak. You know, when the sun just starts like peeking over, like right when there's like a sunset peeking over the horizon. Feels like that's the energy you guys are sort of walking into this month. The Fool, Leap of Faith. Yeah, Nine of Swords. Like I said, there's a really big energy here of feeling the fear and doing it anyway, right? You know, Nine of Swords with the Fool is literally shitting our fucking pants and doing it anyway. I say it all the time. If you've heard any of my other readings, you've definitely heard me say this. Sometimes you got to do it with a poopy diaper. Sometimes you have to quite literally shit your fucking pants and do it. Okay? It feels like some of you guys, again, with this like daybreak imagery coming through, your August wasn't great. And I really do think you're seeing clearly for the first time in a while, is what I want to say here. And fighting through that distortion, you know, really seeing the world for what it is, seeing people for who they are, not who you want them to be. It's like literally, my cards are playing a brand new world for me. It's a brand new world. Yeah, it just really feels like coming from the past it's like waking up from a bad dream. You know, I really don't think your August was great, Pisces, because I really feel like you're coming out of it just being like, okay, I really don't want to feel like that again. Like, I really don't want to have to do that again. Five of Pentacles, you maybe left things behind in August. Five of Pentacles is abandonment. It's walking away from things. So you may have found that August had a plethora of endings for you. And now, again, coming out of that, I have no other way to describe it. It's just like that's where I'm at. You know, it's almost like, for lack of a better way to put it, that's how it feels to me. Like a baby becoming self-aware. You know, because then moving into your near future is the Ten of Cups. You know, you're coming from a month where it feels lackluster, and you're coming out of it being like, okay, I need to do better than this. I need to be happier than this. I need to go after what I want to go after. And it feels like, Pisces, you're doing that here. You know, you're going after it, which I think is really positive, really great. Four of Wands, Four of Cups, 4-4. Hanged Man, here's your own energy, period. Seven of Cups. I think you guys are sort of regrouping with yourselves right now. In this month, it feels like there is some stillness for you to finally, I almost want to say, get your bearings as well. You know, I think that you guys are really looking around, like I said, coming out of August, and really, the way my guides are saying this to me is like recognizing your station, recognizing your own station. Like, where are you? What's going on around you? What's happening? You know, with that Hanged Man, I think a lot of you guys have been playing it really safe for a while, is what I want to say here as well. You may find that you're a bit jumbled at this, because even when I'm trying to connect with this energy, it's so disorganized. It's so, like, I said this came through the last reading too, because I literally just said this, like, reaching for words and they disappear. It feels like you guys are sort of regrouping with yourselves, but also seeing what needs to be fixed, what needs to be changed. You know, if you are feeling disorganized, how can we regroup with that? If I am reaching for things that are just beyond my fingers, I need a stepping stool. You know, it feels overtly positive, but it also feels disconcerting, you know, like very foggy. is another way I would put this for you, but I wouldn't stress too much about it, Pisces, because you're you're a mutable sign. You know, you're a very flowy sign. You're very good at going with the flow. And so it feels like this is an exercise of going with the flow for you here, moving into September and then moving into the future for you is very much let me swim. Let me be a Pisces this month. Let me really just sort of let it happen, for lack of a better way to put it. But you're viewing yourself as the Ten of Swords in the reverse. I do like to see this because Ten of Swords in reverse is the swords are falling out, the cycle's fully over and complete. The Ten of Swords is like the end of a long, bitter cycle, but when it's in the reverse, it's like it's fully done. It's over, kaputs. I'm wiping my hands of it, which is really positive. Like I said, it feels like you guys are not really afraid to lose people anymore. Or maybe I said that in the last reading. I'm so sorry. I don't remember. I think that if I didn't say that before, I'll say it now. You guys are coming into September with, I am okay with letting people go. I am okay with letting opportunities go. I am okay with things not sticking around if they're only going to diminish me and not enrich me. Knight of Cups, King of Swords, Queen of Swords, King and Queen of Swords. You're really on a united front with yourself this month, which is fabulous. King and Queen of Swords is like literally super equal within yourself, super balanced, which is great. And with that Knight of Cups, I think you guys are also recognizing that if someone is meant to be in your life, they will be. But also, people that are meant to be in our lives are not people that bring us down. Okay, if there are people around us that are sort of making us not feel good. Knight of Cups is someone, who makes us feel happy, who brings joy and enrichment into our life. If you are dealing with someone who does the opposite of that, that's a sign in and of itself, babe. But I think some of you guys are also dealing with the messiness of emotion this month. Pisces, you're a very emotional sign, but it feels like this month you're ricocheting a little bit. You're a little messy with the emotions, and let it be. Let it be messy. Okay? You need to understand, and I think you do as a Pisces, that emotions are really fickle, and you may let go of a friend, a business partner, an opportunity, whatever this is here. And maybe you're like, oh, I'm okay. And then 10 minutes later, you're crying about it. Then 10 minutes later, you're angry about it. Emotions are pinball-y like that, okay? There is no set regime to experience emotion. You have to just let it run its course, okay? Don't try to categorize it really strongly and organize it and make it like super neat, because it's not going to be, okay? Emotions they're messy like that. They're going to be pinball-y. They're going to be difficult. Don't shy away from it, okay? Your superpower is strength, though, which I do love to see. Strength is the card of Leo. Strength is like high self-esteem, high boundaries. Strength is really, really good as a superpower because it's also you showing up in a very high energy. It's like unshakable almost. Five of Wands, period. Judgment, 10 of Cups. Yeah, 2 of Cups is here as well. It really feels like, Pisces, this is a really positive outlook for you for the month, because you're really saying, like, okay, shit may be rocking my boat, but I'm not capsizing. Okay, I think you guys have a really good handle on what's going on around you this month, and I feel like you're not really letting anything stop you. Okay, with Judgment and the 2 of Cups, 10 of Cups and the 5 of Wands, I think you guys are also going back a little bit to your childhood this month and really entertaining thoughts of, what did I want to do? What did I used to want to do? I when it comes to our purpose and where we want to go and what we're here to do as a human, you find a lot of clues in your childhood, okay? And I think a lot of you guys, as things are sort of ending and disappearing from right in front of you, you're also taking that opportunity to look at what you want to fill the space with. Okay, what did I do in childhood? What did I let go of? Where was my passion? Where did it take me? What have I already done? What have I already experienced? Okay, it feels, again, really, really positive here. Your hope and your fear is the Seven of Wands. I think for you guys, it just sort of feels like I think you guys are learning the balance of like having healthy boundaries without sort of going after people, right? Pisces, you're not a sign that's usually, people don't think Pisces and think anger, okay? But a lot of Pisces are bottlers. And so that tendency to like bottle, 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 and then explode is like very, happens to Pisces a lot. I think you guys are in September expressing yourself a lot more openly and sort of going out there and saying what needs to be said so that you don't bottle. Like I said, it's like you are creating boundaries without feeling like you're attacking people. Yeah, King of Wands, because you're passionate about your own life. Nine of Cups, Three of Cups. Something else that's coming through that I will remind you guys of is that the right people will find you when you are moving in the right circles. Okay, so this to me is very much, I think some of you guys are like, where's my community? You know, you want community, you want that camaraderie. And it feels like with the Nine of Cups and the King of Wands here, something that I think you guys should try to remember is that as you start moving through the channels that are meant for you, you will meet the people that are also meant for you. Okay, the purpose confirmation. With that King of Wands there, that is very much so like, if we're both passionate about it, we have middle ground. We have something to talk about. We have something to bond over. Okay, and I feel like with that Nine of Cups as well, you guys are really sort of seeking out people that feel good for you, that are not like negative people. They're not people that bring you down. They're not experiences that bring you down. It just feels like you're very alert this month and you're very much like, okay, I'm only choosing things that feel good, which is amazing. Okay, your outcome here is the Empress and the Tower in reverse. I think something else some of you guys need to remember here is that you can only hold off, you can only stave off your own potential for so long in service of other people. You know, I think that's where this sort of is like leading you guys to, Pisces. It's like you're recognizing that you can't hold yourself back just because that's what someone wants. Okay, you can't, especially if it's the, like I said, the Empress is the mom. It doesn't have to be mom, but it's the maternal energy. It's someone around you. You can't hold yourself like to a 5 out of 10 because this person doesn't want you to be a 10 out of 10. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. You did this for a long time. Four of Pentacles, and you kept it to yourself too. Justice, bottom of the deck. Justice showed up a lot in the reading. That did not have sound. Some of you could have Libra in your chart. Yeah, Two of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and the Magician. I mean, Pisces, this is like really, this is great, you know? You're not holding back anymore. That's really what this reading is about. That's probably going to be the title too. You know, like you are really going into September and you are not holding yourself back. You're not allowing other people to hold you back, other circumstances to hold you back. You're really looking and seeing things for what they are and saying, okay, what's that doing there? What is it enriching me? Like I said, that's been coming through a lot this reading. Is it enriching me? Is it helping me? Is it doing anything that benefits me? Is it, if it's causing me to hold myself back, it's not enriching me, that's for sure. Okay? All right, let's get you an oracle card. As always, I will be using the Angelarium. Absolutely adore this deck. It's my favorite oracle deck to date. Reads us to filth. The artwork is beautiful. So, Pisces. September for Pisces. What's the tea? What's their advice, please? Oh, that was fast. Interesting. You guys have Coca Biel, Angel of the Stars. She's also the artwork for the actual guidebook as well. This is a very Piscean card to get. It's so funny. You'll see why when I read it. It's also number 31 for those of us into numerology. Okay. Drawing cards from a divination deck certainly speaks to a latent curiosity, but drawing this card specifically may speak to a deeper desire to seek answers from the infinite. When a question hangs over our heads, it does so with the same intensity as starlight in clear sky. Seek your answers, but don't be dazzled by the dance of faraway glimmers. This card always reminds me, as a Pisces myself, that's why I think this is very fitting. We can pull from our oracle decks and our tarot decks and all of our, we can throw charms, we can do all these things. There still has to be pragmatic work. Okay? There still has to be physical work that goes into these choices, these decisions, these life changes. Okay? So remember that. Pull your cards, do your divination, speak to whoever you want to speak to. But remember that at the end of the day, you have to also put in a physical 3D world effort for these things to come to fruition. Okay? Pisces, that is your monthly forecast. I will leave it there for you guys. I hope this reading was helpful for you. If this reading does resonate, or maybe my style resonates for you, do consider like my reading style, not my like style. I do consider liking and subscribing. We are on the road to 200 subscribers. If you guys would like to interact with me on a live basis, I do go live 3 days a week on Twitch. You can find me Wednesday and Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. EST, as well as Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. EST. So, Pisces, I hope to see you over on Twitch, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!